All right, so get ready because today we are going deep into the world of WordPress.
Deep dive is right.
It can be kind of overwhelming to build a website,
It really can.
especially if you're just starting out,
For sure.
but that's exactly why we're here to break it all down for you.
Yeah.
We've got this awesome source WordPress website, FAQs,
A good one.
and we're going to use it to sort of demystify all those WordPress essentials.
Yeah, give you the knowledge you need.
Exactly.
So you can conquer.
Conquer WordPress. Think of it as your cheat sheet, right?
Absolutely.
To help you navigate
Navigate all the menus and plugins and all
their
of
settings. By
Yeah.
the end of this, you'll be fluent.
Fluent in WordPress.
Yeah.
Ready to create.
A website that sings.
It's amazing how often, even folks who are already familiar with WordPress
Yeah.
get tripped up by things that seem basic.
Totally.
One example is the difference between pages and posts.
Yeah. I used to think that was
Let's-
totally straightforward.
Yeah.
Like pages are for the static things.
Right.
Posts are for the blog entries. But then I started to get confused because well, what if my About Us page needs regular updates?
It is all about what the purpose of that content is.
Okay.
So pages are the cornerstones of your site,
Okay.
the About Us contact
Yeah.
services, that kind of foundational information.
Yeah.
Posts are much more dynamic.
Yeah, okay.
So your blog entries, news updates, anything that you want to have displayed in reverse chronological order,
Yeah.
that creates kind of that ongoing conversation
Okay, I see.
on your website.
I see.
Yeah.
You know, this reminds me of when I was helping a friend with their website.
Yeah.
And they were freaking out.
Oh, no.
They were like, I can't find the posts section anywhere. And it turned out that their theme had renamed it to blog.
Yeah.
It was so confusing.
WordPress is really flexible.
Yeah.
But that can lead to some adventures in the dashboard sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you find yourself lost,
Yeah.
just remember that theme developers can rename sections.
Okay.
You got to keep an eye out for those variations.
Like those weird IKEA instructions.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's is this a screw or a hammer?
You got it.
Okay.
So speaking of things that could be confusing, let's talk about categories and tags.
Okay.
So you've got your content sorted into pages and posts.
Yeah.
But how do you make sure it's easy for people to find?
This is where I always get lost.
Okay.
Categories and tags.
Yeah.
It seems like they both involve grouping content.
They do.
Yeah.
They group them in different ways.
Help me out here.
Okay, so think about categories. You're trying to guide your reader to the right section.
Okay.
Imagine you walk into a bookstore
Okay.
and you're looking for a specific genre.
Right.
So fiction or nonfiction or cookbooks.
Okay.
Categories work the same way.
Right.
They're about broad areas of interest.
Okay, so if my website is all about sustainable living,
Yeah.
my categories might be gardening.
Recipes, DIY projects.
Exactly.
But where do tags fit in?
So tags are a little bit different.
Okay.
They're more about helping the reader find content across different sections
Okay.
based on their specific interest.
Okay.
So let's go back to that bookstore,
Okay.
and you're in the cookbook section.
I love cookbooks.
Me too.
Okay.
You see a tag that says vegetarian.
Okay.
That tag is going to help you zero in on just the vegetarian recipes
Right.
within that bigger category of cookbooks.
Okay, so tags are like those little breadcrumbs
Yes.
that lead you to exactly what you're looking for,
You got it.
no matter where it is on the site.
And this is probably also helpful for search engines, right?
Absolutely.
Both the,
Both the old school.
old school Google kind
Yeah.
and the new Amazon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Categories and tags are like that roadmap
Okay.
for search engines to understand your website.
Got it.
And that's even more important with this rise of AI search, which we'll talk about more later.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We got to dive into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our content organized. We've got it categorized.
Yeah.
Now, what about adding some visual interests?
Uh-huh.
I'm talking videos.
Okay.
And I know from experience that choosing a video hosting platform can
I
be
know. A real pain.
a real pain.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like trying to pick the perfect avocado at the store.
You never know.
So many options.
Which one is going to be good?
Right. Our source here actually talks about 5 different platforms.
Okay.
So we've got YouTube, Vimeo,
Okay.
Wistia, Spotlight,
Okay.
and self-hosting.
Wait, hold on. Self-hosting, that's more
Yeah.
work.
It can be,
Right.
but it gives you total control.
Right, so you don't get
No
ads or suggested videos.
Right, none of that.
Okay.
So self-hosting through WordPress combined with a video CDN,
Okay.
it gives you ultimate control over your content. You decide everything about the branding, the monetization,
Yeah.
the privacy, the whole thing.
Okay.
But it comes with some responsibility too.
Right.
There could be higher costs and some more technical hurdles.
So it's kind of like building your own house.
Yes.
You have all the freedom,
All the freedom.
but you also have to put in all the work.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. So if I'm just starting out
Yeah.
and I want something user-friendly,
Mm-hmm.
I probably want to go with like
YouTube or Vimeo?
YouTube or Vimeo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got the large audience,
Right.
easy to use.
If I'm running a business
Okay.
and I want more control
More control
over the branding and stuff.
than Wistia or Spotlighter might be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I'm a total control freak
If you want
and I'm tech savvy,
all the control,
then self-hosting might be the way to go.
you got it.
Okay.
It's like choosing the right avocado for your guacamole.
I like that analogy.
Okay, good.
All right. So now we've got all this awesome content planned. Let's talk about the nitty-gritty
Okay.
of like managing the WordPress website.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you want to personalize on a fresh WordPress install?
Well, first impressions are everything, right?
Yes.
So you want to make sure your site is intuitive for visitors.
Right?
And that starts with a custom menu.
Okay.
Instead of just using that default home about contact,
Right.
why not showcase your unique content
Yeah.
and guide your visitors
Right.
through your site in a way that really reflects your brand?
Yeah. I used to think those default menus were fine,
Yeah.
but then I realized they're actually very limiting when
Yeah.
you want to
Showcase your content.
yeah, showcase the specific content
Yeah.
and create a unique user journey.
Exactly.
So to personalize your navigation,
Mhm.
you're going to want to create a custom menu.
You got it.
And you do that by going to the appearance section.
Yep.
And then you select menus.
Menus, it's right.
So you can build your navigational masterpiece.
While you're getting things organized,
Yeah.
think about who else might need access
Yeah.
to your site.
Okay.
You might have collaborators. You might have somebody who just manages a certain area of the website.
Okay.
Or maybe you want to let a friend publish a guest post.
So it's like having different levels of access?
Exactly.
Like a key card.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want just anyone walking into the server room.
Right. Exactly.
So WordPress has these different user roles,
Okay.
and they have different capabilities.
Got it.
So you've got administrators,
Mm-hmm.
editors, authors, contributors, and subscribers.
And each role has its own set of permissions.
Exactly.
Okay.
That makes sure everyone has the access they need.
So it's like a digital hierarchy.
Yes.
With different levels of authority.
Our responsibility.
That's it. But, things can go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Websites can be tricky.
They really can be.
What are some, troubleshooting tips?
Okay, so one that's often overlooked
Yeah.
is just clearing your browser cache.
Oh, yeah.
It's like hitting the refresh button for your browser's memory.
Right.
And then you can make sure that you're seeing the most up-to-date version of your website.
That's a good reminder because sometimes you get stuck
Yeah.
and you're like, why isn't this working?
Exactly.
And it's just because the cache needs to be cleared.
And if you're using a caching plugin,
Yeah.
remember to clear that cache too.
Okay. Speaking of things that can cause a website meltdown,
Uh-oh.
what about permalinks?
Permalinks are those permanent URLs
Yeah.
that point to your content.
Right.
And they're super important for SEO
Okay.
and user experience.
So how do we make sure those are set up correctly?
You want to head over to the settings section,
Okay.
select permalinks,
Okay.
and you can choose from different formats depending on your preferences and SEO.
Okay, so remember that appearance section we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
That's where you can add images to your website,
Yeah.
which is super important
It's a must.
to make your content visually appealing.
Absolutely.
So in the WordPress editor, you can just click the plus button,
Okay.
select image,
Uh-huh.
and then either upload a file or choose one from your media library.
I got it.
And then you can also set a featured image,
Okay.
which is like that cover photo.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of adding functionality
Mhm.
to your WordPress site,
Yeah.
let's talk about plugins.
Plugins.
They're the lifeblood
Yeah.
of a WordPress site.
It adds so much.
But choosing the right ones can be overwhelming.
There's so many.
Think of them like apps for your phone.
Okay.
They give you all sorts of cool features and functionality,
Right.
but too many
Too many.
can really slow things down.
Right. Or even cause problems.
Exactly.
So always make sure that they're compatible
Yeah.
with your version of WordPress
Nah.
and that they have good reviews.
And if a plugin starts causing trouble,
Yeah.
like if it breaks your site,
The first thing you want to do is deactivate it.
okay, how do you do that?
You can go to the plugin section,
Okay.
select install plugins,
Okay.
and then click deactivate.
It's like putting a misbehaving app in timeout.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that can slow down a website,
Uh-huh.
let's talk about site speed.
Site speed is so important.
Our source talks about the importance of optimizing images using caching plugins,
Yep.
minimizing those HTTP requests,
Right.
and even considering a content delivery network or a CDN.
That can make a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a well-optimized website is a happy website.
That's it.
Now let's talk about some of the key concepts that might seem a little intimidating,
Yeah.
but are actually pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Let's start with child themes.
Child themes.
I always think of those like Russian nesting dolls.
Yeah.
You open one and there's another one inside.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay.
So a child theme inherits all the features and functionality of its parent theme,
Okay.
but it gives you a safe space to customize.
Okay.
So you're not affecting the core code.
So it's like having your own little playground
Exactly.
where you can experiment
Yeah.
without breaking the entire toy set.
You got it.
Let's talk about contact forms.
Contact forms are essential.
Yeah.
This is how visitors communicate with you.
So it's like having a virtual receptionist
Yes.
taking messages
Exactly.
and keeping things organized.
And for contact forms, you'll need a plugin.
Okay.
Some popular options are WP Forms, Sure Forms, and Gravity Forms.
Now, what about comments?
Comments.
Yeah.
The double-edged sword
Right.
of the internet.
Okay.
They can be great for fostering discussion,
Right.
building community,
Yeah.
but they can also be a bit of a headache.
So how do we manage them?
You can enable or disable comments globally
Okay.
in the settings section under discussion,
Okay.
but you can also control comments
Yeah.
on individual posts or pages.
So you have like granular control.
Exactly.
Now, this is where things can get scary.
Oh, security.
Security is so important.
Yeah.
We've all heard those horror stories.
Websites getting hacked,
Yeah.
data being compromised.
So where do we even begin?
Right.
The first line of defense is an SSL certificate.
Okay.
Think of it like a digital bodyguard
Okay.
for your website.
Got it.
It encrypts data
Okay.
so that sensitive information stays protected.
So it's not just about security, it's also about trust, right?
Absolutely.
Letting visitors know that their information is safe.
Exactly.
And this also helps with SEO, I imagine.
It does.
Okay.
Search engines love websites
Okay.
with secure connections.
Speaking of SEO, you mentioned earlier this whole new frontier.
Yes.
AI.
GI-driven search engines.
Is this something to be worried about?
It's not about worry. It's about understanding
Okay.
how things are changing
Right.
and
Yeah.
adapting.
So traditional SEO is all about keywords and backlinks.
And technical optimizations.
Okay.
But this new frontier,
Sometimes called GEO.
okay, GEO,
Yeah.
is all about crafting content that AI finds valuable and authoritative.
Wow. So we're writing for AI years now.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
So AI models are constantly learning and evolving,
Right.
and they're getting really good at understanding all the little nuances of language.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So what do we do with this information?
I think the key is to remember that
Yeah.
while traditional SEO focuses on keywords,
Okay.
AI models are taking a more holistic approach.
Okay.
They're not just looking at words.
Right.
You're looking at the whole context.
So it's not just about sprinkling in keywords.
No,
Yeah.
it's more about making sure
Okay.
your content makes sense.
Got it.
Like you're explaining it to a friend.
Right.
Imagine explaining something complex to a friend.
Right.
You're not just going to throw jargon at them.
No, you want to break it down.
You've got to break it down.
Yeah. Make it understandable.
Make it engaging.
Yeah.
So are you saying we should write for AI in the same way we would explain something to a human?
Exactly.
Okay.
AI is getting really good at recognizing
Yeah.
when something is informative
Right.
and engaging and easy to digest.
Okay.
So it's not about dumbing down your content.
Right.
It's about making it accessible and enjoyable.
For both humans and AI.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a game changer.
It is.
So how do we know what they're looking for?
Well, the inner workings of AI are a bit of a mystery.
Right.
But we do know
Okay.
that they're trained on massive amounts of data.
Right.
They're constantly learning and adapting.
So it's like trying to figure out the taste buds
Yes.
of a master chef.
That's a great analogy.
Like you can analyze the dishes, but you don't know exactly what's going on in their head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mystery.
Okay.
But just like a chef who's constantly refining their recipes
Okay.
based on feedback and experimentation,
Yeah.
we need to do the same thing with our content.
So it's a process
Yeah.
of observation and experimentation
Yes,
and
sure.
continuous learning.
Absolutely.
Paying attention to how AI interacts with our content,
Yeah.
making adjustments,
Oh.
adapting our approach as we learn more.
Exactly.
This is so fascinating.
It is.
Okay, so GEO is not just like a technical challenge.
It's a creative opportunity.
It's like it's forcing us to step up our game
Yes.
and create content that is not just optimized,
Right.
but is genuinely valuable and insightful.
For both humans and AI.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
It's a really exciting time.
And I think this brings us to another really important aspect of website management
Yeah.
that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
Accessibility.
Accessibility is essential.
Right.
So making sure your website is accessible to everyone.
Right.
Regardless of their abilities or disabilities.
Yeah.
It's not just good practice, it's an ethical imperative.
And it's about making sure that our content is perceivable. Yeah.
Operable, understandable, and robust.
It needs to be accessed and used
Right.
by people with a whole range of disabilities.
So visual, auditory, cognitive,
All of that.
motor impairments.
Yep,
This makes so much sense.
it does.
It's about inclusivity
It is.
online.
Yeah.
Creating an online experience.
An inclusive online experience.
where everyone feels welcome.
Exactly.
So how do we make our WordPress website more accessible?
Well, the good news is
Right.
WordPress is built with accessibility in mind.
Okay.
So there are a lot of built-in features and plugins that can help.
Alt text.
Alt text is great.
To describe images for screen readers.
Yes.
Making sure that our color contrast is good for people with visual impairments.
Yep.
Creating keyboard navigable menus and captions and transcripts for video and audio content.
You got it.
It seems like a lot, but
It is, but it's worth it.
it's the right thing to do.
It's not just about checking boxes.
Good.
It's about creating a more inclusive
Yes.
and equitable
online world.
online world. Exactly. It's recognizing that everyone has the right to access information online
Absolutely.
and to participate
Everyone.
in the digital world.
You got it.
And as website creators, we have a responsibility
You do.
to make our content as accessible as possible.
We really do.
So we've covered a lot in the second part
Yeah, a lot of ground.
of our deep dive.
For sure.
We've explored SEO, GEO,
Huh.
Google Analytics,
Yeah.
website accessibility,
Important stuff.
and so much more. But don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned.
Because in part 3,
Yes.
we're going to bring it all together.
We are.
We'll recap the key takeaways
Huh.
and leave you with some inspiring thoughts.
To ponder as you continue your WordPress adventures.
I can't wait.
Me too.
Okay, welcome back to our deep dive into WordPress.
Yeah, we're diving even deeper.
And we've covered a lot already.
We really have.
But before we get too far ahead, I want to circle back
Okay.
to those user roles.
User roles, yeah.
Because I can see how those are essential
Absolutely.
for like managing a website.
Especially with multiple people.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple people involved.
But what happens if someone forgets their password?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a panic moment.
It happens all the time.
It does.
It's like losing your house keys.
I know.
Luckily, WordPress has a built-in password recovery system. So if you lock yourself out,
Yeah.
just go to the login page,
Okay.
click the lost your password link,
Okay.
and then just follow the instructions.
It's like having a spare key hidden somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, always there when you need it.
So once we're logged in and ready to go,
Uh-huh.
how do we make sure that our website is showing up in search results?
That's a good question.
Because what's the point of having a beautiful website
Right.
if no one can find it?
Exactly. It's like building this beautiful house.
But there's no roads leading to it.
Okay.
Nobody can get there.
I see.
So our source actually gives some good tips for this.
Okay.
The first thing is
Yeah.
making sure your site is set to be indexed
Okay.
by search engines.
So it's like opening the doors to your website
Exactly.
and saying, come on in, Google.
Yeah, make yourself at home.
Index everything.
You got it.
Okay.
So it's about giving those search engines a clear signal
Got it.
that your site is ready to be discovered.
And then once we've opened those doors,
Yeah.
we need to make sure that our content is optimized.
Optimized, yeah.
For both humans and...
Search engine algorithms.
So we're back to keywords and backlinks and all that.
Yeah, all the SEO best practices.
But it's not just about cramming keywords in there, right?
It's not.
Like a Thanksgiving turkey.
No, it's about understanding what people are searching for
Right.
and creating content
Yeah.
that actually answers their questions.
Solves their
That
problem.
solves their problems.
Think about when you search for something online.
Yeah.
Are you looking for a page that's just
Full of keywords?
full of keywords or
Or are you looking for,
something that's actually helpful?
yeah, something insightful?
I'm always looking for that authoritative voice.
Wait,
That's like,
This is what I needed.
yes, exactly.
And AI-powered search engines
Yeah.
are starting to do the same thing.
Okay, so this is where GEO comes back in.
It is.
So those AI models
Yeah.
are looking for that valuable, insightful content.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've opened the doors to our website.
Yep.
We've optimized our content.
Uh-huh.
But now we actually need to track
Track, yeah.
how people are finding us.
How they're interacting.
And that's where Google Analytics comes in.
It is.
Google Analytics is like a private investigator. A private investigator for your website.
Exactly.
You get all that juicy
With
information.
all the data,
Yeah.
who's visiting, where they're coming
That
from.
they're looking at, how
Yeah.
long they're staying.
It's a gold mine.
So how do we connect Google Analytics to our website?
It's actually pretty easy.
Okay, good.
Our source suggests 2 ways.
Okay.
You can install the Google Site Kit plugin,
Okay.
or you can manually insert the tracking code
Okay.
into the header section using a plugin like Insert Headers and Footers.
Okay, so Google Site Kit sounds like the easier option,
It is.
especially if you're not really a coder.
Exactly.
Ugh,
Google Site Kit is like having a personal assistant
I like it.
for all your Google services.
Okay.
So it streamlines that whole connection process
Okay.
between your site and Google Analytics, Search Console, AdSense,
Yeah.
all those goodies.
So it's super convenient.
It is.
But what if we're more comfortable with code?
If you like getting your hands dirty,
Yeah.
the manual method is still an option.
Okay.
You just copy the tracking code
Okay.
and paste it into the header section of your website.
Okay.
You can use that Insert Headers and Footers plugin
Okay.
to make that process easy.
So it's like choosing between takeout
Yes.
and cooking a gourmet meal?
Exactly.
They both can be delicious,
They can.
but one takes a little more effort.
But no matter which method you choose,
Right.
connecting to Google Analytics is essential.
Okay.
It's going to help you understand your audience,
Yeah.
track your progress,
Right.
and make better decisions about your website.
Now let's dive back into GEO.
Okay, back to AI.
I know we talked about how those AI models are getting better
Yeah, they're getting really good.
at understanding language.
Uh-huh.
And I have so many questions about this.
Okay, shoot.
How do we write for AI?
Okay.
What are they looking for?
Yeah.
Is it just about keywords or is there something more?
It's definitely more than keywords. So
Okay.
traditional SEO,
Yeah.
it focuses on those keywords and their density,
Right.
but AI models take a more holistic view.
So they're looking at the whole picture,
Exactly.
not just individual words.
They consider things like sentence structure,
Okay.
semantic relationship,
So the relationship between the words.
exactly coherence, even the tone of the writing.
So it's not enough to just sprinkle keywords in like confetti.
It's not
We actually need to write in a way that makes sense to AI.
almost like you're having a conversation
Oh, wow.
with a robot,
Okay.
a really smart robot.
So we should write for AI in the same way we'd explain something to a human.
Exactly. Make it clear and engaging.
Make it simple,
AI models are constantly learning,
right?
and they're really good at recognizing
Yeah.
content that is
Yeah.
informative and engaging
Okay.
and well-structured.
So it's not about dumbing down our content,
It's not
but it's about making it accessible
accessible
for
to
both audiences.
both human and AI.
Okay, this is a game changer.
It is.
But how do we know what those AI models are looking for?
Well, the way they work is kind of a secret,
Right? It's like a mystery.
but we can get some clues based on how they're being used.
Okay.
We know they're trained on tons of data,
Right.
and they're always learning and adapting.
So it's like trying to figure out
Yes.
the taste buds of a master chef.
You can analyze their dishes,
Yeah.
but their creative process is still kind of a mystery.
Right.
But just like a chef refines their recipes
Yeah.
based on feedback,
Yeah.
we need to do the same thing with our content.
So observation,
Yes.
experimentation, continuous learning.
That's the key.
Pay attention to how AI is interacting with our content.
Yeah.
Make adjustments.
And adapt as you learn.
This is so exciting.
It is.
A new frontier.
It's like GEO is forcing us
To think differently.
to think differently
Yeah.
about content
To
creation.
create content that is not just optimized,
Yeah.
but also valuable and insightful.
This is amazing.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Okay.
where creativity and AI understanding come together.
This brings us to another crucial part of website management
Okay.
that we haven't touched on yet.
What's that?
Accessibility.
Accessibility, yes.
Yeah.
Creating a website that is accessible to everyone,
It's so important.
regardless of their abilities.
Yeah. Or disabilities.
It's not just good practice.
Right.
It's an ethical imperative.
It is.
So we need to make sure that our content is perceivable,
Perceivable.
operable,
Understandable.
understandable.
Robust.
It needs to be accessed by people with a wide range of disabilities.
Exactly.
So that means visual, auditory, cognitive, motor impairments.
Yeah.
This makes so much sense.
It does.
It's about inclusivity
Yes.
online,
An inclusive online experience.
where everyone can participate.
And everyone feels welcome.
Exactly.
So how do we make our WordPress website more accessible?
That's the question.
Well, luckily, WordPress is built with that in mind.
Oh, good.
So there are features
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
plugins that can help.
Okay, great.
For example, we can use alt text
Okay.
to describe images
Yeah.
for screen readers.
We can make sure the color contrast is good for
Okay.
those with visual impairments.
Uh-huh.
We can create keyboard navigable menus.
Exactly.
And we can provide captions and transcripts
Yeah.
for audio and video content.
It's all about making sure everyone can access the information.
It seems like a lot to consider,
It is.
but it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
It's not just about checking boxes.
It's about creating a more inclusive and equitable
online work.
online world.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that everyone has that right to access information online.
And participate
Yeah,
in the digital world.
exactly.
And we as website creators have that responsibility
We do.
to make our content accessible.
We really do.
So we've covered a lot in this second part.
We have
It's our deep dive.
a lot of ground.
We've explored SEO and GEO,
The power of Google Analytics.
the ethical considerations of website accessibility,
Important stuff.
and so much more.
But wait, there's more.
But don't go anywhere,
We've got one more part.
because in part 3, we'll bring it all together.
We will.
We'll recap those key takeaways and leave you with some inspiring thoughts.
Yes.
Some food for thought.
As you continue your WordPress adventure. All right, welcome back to our WordPress deep dive.
Final part.
We made it.
We did.
It feels like we've been everywhere.
Yeah, we've covered so much.
From the basics
Basics
of setting up a website
Yeah.
to the
to the big ideas,
big ideas.
like AI and accessibility.
But before we wrap things up,
Yeah.
let's make sure we have a clear plan.
A roadmap.
Yeah, to navigate this whole WordPress thing.
What that a roadmap?
So let's recap those 5 key takeaways.
5 key takeaways, yeah.
What are the things that everyone needs to know?
The must-knows.
The must-knows for WordPress.
Okay, first up,
Yeah.
remember those building blocks?
Pages and posts.
Pages and posts, that's right.
Pages are the foundation.
Foundation, yeah.
The
About us.
contact.
The information that doesn't change that often.
Yeah, it's static.
And then the posts.
Posts are more dynamic.
Right.
Those blog entries, the news updates.
Keep things fresh.
Exactly.
It's like building a house.
I was thinking the same thing.
You need those solid walls,
Yeah.
but you also need the interesting decor
To make it feel like a home.
to make it a home.
Yeah.
And once you have your content figured out,
Yeah.
you've got to organize it
Organize it. That's right.
so that visitors can find what they're looking for.
That's where categories and tags come in.
Categories and tags.
Yes.
Categories are like chapters in a book,
Broad topics.
guiding your reader.
And then tags are those keywords
Yeah.
that help readers discover content
Right.
across different sections.
Based on their interests.
It's like those secret passageways
I love that.
connecting different parts of your website.
And then, of course, there's video.
Video. Oh, yeah.
Choosing a video hosting platform.
It can feel overwhelming. There's so many options.
But it all comes down to,
Your needs.
yeah,
What you're looking for.
if you want reach and ease of use
YouTube and Vimeo are great.
for businesses. Yeah.
Who want more control over the branding and stuff.
Wistia or Spotlighter.
And if you're a true control enthusiast,
Yeah. If you want all the control.
self-hosting is the way to go.
Exactly.
So many choices.
It's like choosing your mode of transportation.
Okay.
Sometimes you need the bus.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want the freedom of a car.
And sometimes
private jet. And no matter how you decide to showcase your content, there are just some essential WordPress tasks.
That you've got to know.
So these are like the basic dance steps.
Basic steps. You
Creating custom menus,
Yeah.
adding new users,
troubleshooting
optimizing for speed.
and SEO.
Once you get those steps down,
Then the fun begins.
then you can really dance.
Yeah.
Speaking of SEO,
Yeah.
can't forget about AI.
The elephant in the room.
AI and the algorithm.
Right. Search is evolving.
It is.
So traditional SEO meets GEO.
Right. And it's all about context,
Context, yes.
not just keywords anymore.
We have to think about how AI is reading our content.
Writing for both human ears and AI eyes.
We need depth,
Depth, yes.
coherence, authenticity,
And then we also need to think about
accessibility,
making sure our content is
perceivable,
operable,
understandable.
robust
That is
for
true.
everyone.
Everyone can access and enjoy.
Yeah, an inclusive experience online.
So as we wrap up this WordPress deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a challenge.
Okay, I like a challenge.
Don't just build a website.
Okay.
Create an experience.
Experience, yeah.
Don't just optimize for search engines.
Okay.
Write for humans and AI.
I like it.
Don't just follow the rules.
Okay.
Break them creatively.
But ethically,
The internet is our oyster,
it is.
and we have the power
To shape it.
to shape it with platforms like WordPress.
Exactly.
So go forth, explore, experiment.
Build those digital spaces
Yes.
that are informative and engaging and inclusive and inspiring.
Until next time.
Happy WordPressing.
Yeah.